Yeah. Hey everyone, it's Dr. Owen with Advanced Physical Therapy and Wellness, and today we'll be covering parts of the shoulder. Let's say someone's limited in athlete scratch, external rotation, so coming back through here. Oftentimes there's going to be some restrictions going on in the subscapularis, so this is going to be for flexion as well as for like external rotation, or maybe a combination of both. Subscapularis could be an offender. Same with the lat, because the lat comes down from here and then kind of hooks up, then slips over to that inferior angle of the scapula too as well. So we'll hit kind of a little bit of both, as well as one limiting reagent too from that is going to be the tricep. Interestingly enough, this was one time I had a CrossFitter and he had some shoulder impingement, and I did everything, I loosened everything, and he still had a little bit of pain. And lastly, I found this big old adhesion right here in his tricep. So we'll show you some stuff, how to work on this stuff, and then I'll as well to shotgun like the whole kind of posterior chain of that shoulder. So first one we'll be showing you is, we're showing you on Dr. Myro, our rock star PT over here. Let's see if we'll have you lay down on your back. So first we're going to show you like an active release ART technique of that subscapularis, and then also too of that lat. And then afterwards we'll show you on part 2 how to do a myofascial decompression, or some people call it cupping, for the posterior shoulder that they use on Michael Phelps. So anyways, so stay tuned for that. We'll show you real quick how to do that active release technique. Okay, so what we're gonna do is first we're gonna locate that subscapularis, and like I said previously, it kind of goes right in there, right where that wing of that scapula, you can kind of feel that scapula winging out, and kind of you're going to dive down right in through there. I will usually use my finger grip like this, maybe even a grip like this, to dive in right in through there. One can even use their thumb, come right down through here, up and through that area. But basically, I will do that, and then I will, at the same time, I'll slack them up, pin it down, then I'll bring them into shoulder flexion, maybe even a little bit of shoulder external rotation too at the same time. But be mindful of that shoulder external rotation. It could cause some pain in the elbow. So if they're getting elbow pain or discomfort, don't go quite as much into that external rotation. Maybe just a little bit, but more focus on that shoulder flexion. I'm gonna show you on the other side just for the sake of the camera. So now you know where the spots are, but basically I'll kind of hook their arm like this, little underhand grip, and see, as you can tell, you can bring them into a little bit of external rotation, and you can also bring them into shoulder flexion. So I'll kind of wind it up by bringing them to shoulder extension. I'll come down into a subscap, which is way tighter on this side compared to the other side, and I'll dive in, I'll sink my fingers in, and then I will kind of bring them all the way up, and it's going to be a little tough, so I'll usually count to them on end range. 1 second, sorry, I'm getting some of my armpit hairs. Okay, here we go, and then we'll go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bringing it back, good. And then I'll usually follow it up with the lat, which is usually tight too, with my little finger grip right down and through there. So we'll go a little bit lower, closer to the inferior angle of the scapula, and then just drive it down, shoulder extension, shoulder flexion, and then we'll go, a little bit superior. There we go, because that's where it's more restricted. And we'll go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, bringing it back out. And then usually you'll have a dramatic improvement in shoulder flexion. Then also too, you can retest that athlete scratch, should be improved. You may have to mobilize and get some thoracic extension too. That's a whole nother story.